Morning, this is Tony Topacio. I'm a fourth-year law student from Philippine Law School. This video digest series is part of our course requirement in criminal law review for our preparation in next year's 2023 Hernando Bar. I would greatly appreciate your comments. Please like and subscribe at the link below. The topic is about the appreciation of self-defense in criminal cases. The case of People versus Genosa, decided 2004, penned by Justice Panganiban, is informative on the application and interpretation of the use of the battered woman syndrome as self-defense. For allegedly killing her husband, the RTC of Ormoc found Marivic Genosa guilty beyond reasonable doubt of parricide, which is punishable under Article 246 of the Revised Penal Code as restored by Section 5 of RA 7659. The case was raised to the Supreme Court for automatic review, where the court raised the issue on whether applicant acted in self-defense and in defense of her fetus. The court held that battered women syndrome as self-defense was not validly established by Genosa. In arriving at its decision, the court discussed that a battered woman has been defined as a woman who is repeatedly subjected to any forceful physical or psychological behavior by a man in order to coerce her to do something he wants her to do without concern for her rights. Battered women exhibit common personality traits such as low self-esteem, traditional beliefs brought about home, the family and the female sex role, emotional dependence upon the dominant male, the tendency to accept responsibility for the batterer's actions, and false hopes that the relationship will improve. More graphically, the battered woman syndrome is characterized by the so-called cycle of violence, which has three phases: the tension-building phase, the acute battering incident, and the tranquil, loving, or at least non-violent phase. During the tension-building phase, minor battering occurs. It could be verbal or slight physical abuse, or another form of hostile behavior. The woman usually tries to pacify the batterer through a show of kind, nurturing behavior, or by simply saying, staying out of his way. What actually happens is that she allows herself to be abused in ways that to her are comparatively minor. The acute battering incident is said to be characterized by brutality, destructiveness, and sometimes death. The battered woman deems this incident as unpredictable, yet also inevitable. During this phase, she has no control. Only the batterer may put an end to the violence. The final phase of the cycle of violence begins when the acute battering incident ends. During this tranquil period, the couple experience profound relief. On the one hand, the batterer may show a tender and nurturing behavior towards his partner. He knows that he has been viciously cruel and tries to make up for it, begging for her forgiveness and promising never to beat her again. On the other hand, the battered woman also tries to convince herself that the battery will never happen again, and that her partner will change for the better, and that this good, gentle, and caring man is the real person whom she loves. To show the history of violence inflicted upon an appellant, the defense presented expert witnesses. In deciding, the court held that from the totality of evidence presented, there left no doubt in the court's mind that appellant Marivic Genosa was a severely abused person. But the court was not able to establish a connection through sufficient evidence that appellant, due to the repeated abuse she had suffered from her spouse over a long period of time, became afflicted with the battered women syndrome. The defense fell short of proving all three phases of the cycle of violence supposedly characterizing the relationship of Ben and Marivic Genosa. No doubt there were acute battering incidents. In relating to the court how the fatal incident that led to the death of Ben started, Marivic perfectly described the tension-building phase of the cycle. She was able to explain in adequate detail the typical characteristics of this stage. However, that single incident does not prove the existence of the syndrome. In other words, she failed to prove that In at least another battering episode in the past, she had gone through a similar pattern. Neither did appellant proffer sufficient evidence in regard to the third phase of the cycle. She simply mentioned that she would usually run away to her mother's or father's house, that Ben would seek her out, ask for her forgiveness, and promise to change, and that believing his word, she would return to their common abode. In sum, the defense failed to elicit from appellant herself her factual experiences and thoughts that would clearly and fully demonstrate the essential characteristics of the syndrome. Thank you.